normal for them not to pay the money because you have not even supplied what I give you to do.
Okay,
So
post payment. I'm so sorry. Post payment.
But they can't pay the whole money. Of course, that is why some people might sit on the money and sent the account general to release money to some people. Some people still that even if it is win-win for all of them.
We have the FOI Act already in place, and there is a situation where journalists are the ones who will go probing. There's another situation where you expect that those in charge will call journalists and say, look, this is what you should know, and you should tell the people.
I want to tell you that today, FOI Act is not working. At the federal level, it's supposed to work, it's not working, and at the state level, where it's supposed to be adopted, I want to tell you that it's not working because the FOI Act it's a kind of empowerment to journalists to go to anywhere and have questions. But when you ask questions, they have bureaucratic bottlenecks that will tell you, come the other day. We have not gotten what you are doing. And of course, what you're asking. And of course, we need to get some people involved in what you're asking us before we can prove. So this is bureaucratic bottleneck that is not helping FOI Act to work. And of course, it is a manifestation of what is happening even in legal system. Because I can tell you that people are complaining every time that the unity that are given to the executive is too much. So we need to go and sit down and look at people that at National Assembly or the State Assembly. I am not saying they are not qualified to be there, but not all of them are granted in law-making process. So they need to look at that and look at the way to maybe they organize refresher courses for them that they are going to be tutored by lawyers and judges about how laws are made. But they have been the problem to us because they make laws and trying to bring about their own case law, judicial precedent, which is nullifying most of the time what the law says from the National Assembly or State Assembly. So it shouldn't be. They need to go for a refresher course to know how law is being made. Fine, you can be an engineer, you can be a doctor, but they need to tell you what are those things, do's and don'ts of legal system, of lawmaking. This will help you a lot, but a large number of them are not going for that, and they believe that they know it all. They don't know anything.
Wow, interesting. Some of those issues are issues for another day. But then let's look at this news that filtered in yesterday and reported by one of the newspaper, the Punch newspaper precisely. Tinubu clears 12 billion naira outstanding payment for Super Eagles others. According to the report, President Bolaji Tinubu cleared the outstanding payments of the federal government owed for Super Eagles and other sport teams upon trade. Rasaq, how will this help the sports sector?
Yeah, it's going to be a morale booster for them. Because working for some time and you're not get paid, there's no way you would perform well. But when your money is being paid as and when due, it is going to boost your morale and you do better. We've been saying that they're not doing fine. The NFF are not doing fine. The whole team, Nigeria team, we are not doing fine. And of course, this will be a morale booster, but the money should be judiciously used. Because it's one thing to release money. That's down to when we were talking about release money for us. But for us to access the money, even as those are going there, is another thing. So it's one thing to say Mr. President releases money. It's another thing for them to release the money and let the money go to where it's supposed to go. So this is at it from bottom top approach, not top bottom approach. Because if you don't go deep down and see what is happening to people that the main beneficiaries, then we are not doing anything. So we need to tell Mr. President through the Ministry of Youth and Sports to look into what is happening exactly to our team, because by next week or weekend of this week we are starting the CAF. And the reason they gave them the money is for us to bring trophy home from AFCON. And of course, we must support our team. We must be patriotic enough and criticize them constructively so that they can do better. We need cup. We must win the cup. This is going to be the fourth time. If we win, so we are going to win. Let's be optimistic and patriotic that Nigeria will win. We are bringing laurels and glory home.
Are there some authorities that has been maybe a committee that is on ground, or there be a committee that will be on ground to make sure that the necessary people that are meant to get this money get it and on time?
Those that are in charge is an agency.
All right.
It is Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, that are in charge of this team, and the money will be paid to them. They'll be
Okay.
the one to manage the coach as well as the team. So they should manage them well, and they should pay the money the way it's supposed to be paid. They should not withhold, and they should not bring favoritism or nepotism, because that has been the bane of sports, football, exactly, in Nigeria. When you know that somebody from so tribe is qualified, you now go and take somebody from majority tribe to override minority tribe. That has been what we have been doing in our sports, and that is the bane of sport development in Nigeria. Let's forget about nepotism. If it is Rasaq that is there, and I don't know how to play, remove me and use Chinedu, who can play better than Rasaq.
Use Eze that can play better. Okay, there was an issue about access to forex by airlines in Nigeria at a particular point in time. As a matter of fact, one of the foreign airlines actually left Nigeria at that time, abandoned to Nigeria, but then they've been able to come back through the intervention of Mr. President. But there is a report from the Nation newspaper. CBN disburses $61.64 million to airlines, and just want to know how far this can go to help their operations.
In any thriving economy of the world, three things are very important, or let me say three policies are very important: fiscal policy, monetary policy, and trade policy. In the case of Nigeria, the three of them are not working perfectly, and that's the reason you may not get the yield of effect sorted soon, and that's the reason you see volatility in Nigeria in terms of the exchange rates. When we talk about fiscal policy, me and you knew what happened before now about budget padding, when the budget were not passed as the right time. This is still affecting Nigeria, despite the fact that it's being corrected. We know what happened when Emefiele was there, the overnight change of currency, and of course the buying of money with money, the scarcity of currency. Therefore, the trade policy will be greatly affected. And if trade policy is affected, you cannot earn more foreign exchange, because locally you can produce. You have reduced your production capacity for you to now export and earn foreign exchange. It is when you earn foreign exchange that you are going to use to reduce the hardship in terms of access to foreign exchange and the usage of it locally. Now we don't have enough foreign exchange. That's the reason we have a lot of backlogs. We don't earn enough money in terms of what we export, but we import almost every day. So if you import almost every day and you export occasionally, then that is telling you automatically you're going to have balance of trade deficits. Balance of trade deficits and payment deficit that's affecting Nigeria. That's the reason we cannot get enough foreign exchange. And in as much as we don't do much in terms of production, we cannot export much. So we continue to be buying and we import more. So you can't expect magic to happen. Economy is not politics. It is not sentiment or emotion. It is something that is happening in the world. So whether we like it or not, you need to tweet towards that. You need to move towards that. If you don't do towards that, in Yoruba land, they will say, Tabanikagbe, Tabagbe, it is there. So it is not. If you don't do the right thing at the right time, then you can't get economic factors, economic indicators, and indices correct. And if you don't get it correctly, then Nigeria may go the house.
So talking about exportation, I mean, just based on what you said, we can link it to the story coming from the Vanguard. Nigeria can be Africa's bread basket. Narco boss urges Nigerians to embrace exportation. Now it's like in Nigeria we depend more on importation than exportation.
I've never seen a country in the whole world that is as blessed as Nigeria in terms of everything. I can tell you for a fact that Jigawa is a place that is blessed to the plantation of wheat plantation. In fact, Jigawa itself, if we have a correct agri policy in place, can feed the whole Africa in terms of wheat production. It can replace the importation of wheat from Russia and Ukraine if we do it that way. That's the reason you can see that our president, out of what they are trying to say, they want to do 500,000 hectares of land farming. They are giving Jigawa 120 hectares on wheat production. So that tells you that they are trying to getting it right. We can feed the whole Africa. We can be the food basket of the Africa, because for there's no place that is having the kind of temperature we have. In Nigeria, we have deserts where you can grow some things there. In Nigeria, we have tropical rainforest from this side. In Nigeria, we have mangrove. So we have almost everything that is suitable for everything grown in the whole world. But the policy is faulty. But those at the end of the affair are not looking to that direction. But even if they are looking to that direction, those that will be a clog in the wheel of our progress are there. So we need to remove all these things and try to say, if Ogun State can do cassava, let Ogun do cassava. Forget about rice and rice parameter we are talking about. If Ogun State cannot grow rice, let's do cassava. Let's those that can grow rice, grow rice. Let's those that can do wheat, do it. Let's those that can do livestock production, do that. So this will bring a lot of things for us. Don't forget, we also have mineral resources that nobody has in the whole world. Then what are we doing to harness all these potentials? If we are doing something tangibly in this regard, Nigeria will feed the whole Africa and become not only by word of mouth, but by action, the giant of Africa.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayinla. We don't want to do this alone, so we want to allow people to call in to participate, to also talk about what we're talking about this morning. 0803 437 9453, 0803 437 9453, or 0815 032 0226, 0815 032 0226. Those are the numbers you can call so they can be part of our discussion this morning on Morning Flight.
Okay, so those are the lines you can call. Now, as I wait the calls to come in, Rasaq, let me call your attention to this news from the Punch newspaper. Okay, let's quickly pick the call. Now, the first caller here. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
In.
Happy Monday morning.
I wish you the same.
When they call us, we're in London. I'm here now.
Okay, welcome on board.
When he was talking before I called him, I was talking about those mineral resources we have in each state. My brother lady, we don't mention all the mineral resources in each state all over Nigeria. I can't our government harness it. So people are just, I know a woman that is going about villages, collecting kaolin, selling it to those Chinese people, making money. When government go into this, those things can make, no country has what we have in Nigeria all over the world. They should harness it now. Somebody should sing into our president here so that he will do something fast about this. So, because they cannot continue to go on like this. So, that's what I'm saying.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling.
0803 437 9453 and 0815 032 0226. 585 million naira scandal. Stop insulting Nigerians. Falana tells Beta Edge. That's just what I want to put your attention to. Razak. You know,
that are very senior.
I want to just quote Mr. Falana. Now, in the statement on Sunday, he said, payment of the over $500 million to a private account in contravention of the Stand Public Service Rule, as well as the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Offences Act and the Penal Code. Okay.
That's all.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Debo.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Good morning, Bolaji.
Bolaji.
Yeah,
No,
good
good
morning.
morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
God bless you.
God bless
I
you,
am
sir.
Wole Owoshedi, calling from Milano.
Welcome.
I must tell you, brother, that you have again made my day.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, it is very true. We have all the vegetations in Nigeria that is good for agriculture. Mention any type of agricultural production. We have very good land for it. That's just a part of it. I have never seen any country all over the world that is blessed naturally like Nigeria. Because we have all the natural resources. I don't think there's any natural resource that we don't have an iota of it in Nigeria. But are we harnessing them? Bitumen is costlier than petroleum.
Yes.
And we have a large deposit of bitumen in the riverine area of Edo, spanning through Ondo State, spanning through Lagos State, yet to be tapped. And we just depend on importing everything. We import to the point of importing toothpick. We are not productive at all. If we harness all these things and we are exporting a lot of things, our foreign exchange would jack up, and our naira will be very much better than what it is now. But how do we go about it? How do we pull our leaders to come into action? That's right.
Yes, sir.
The whole thing is falling on our table. When I say on our table, on the table of journalists. If they are not coming out, we have to drag them out.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, Rasaq, Mr. Farmer said that while the minister has not denied that she approved that payment, she is not apologizing to Nigeria and she's not calling it quits, meaning that Mr. Farmer expected at least one of those three to happen.
Oga Falana is not a frivolous lawyer. For him to have come out to say something, he must have gathered some information as regards that. And of course, it's a senior African of Nigeria of over 40 years at the bar. For him to have come out today, it's a weighted allegation, which we need to look into. Better Edu is not doing fine. She's supposed to have by now come out with a clean copy of what happened. But I don't know what happened to her. She's not coming out. She's not been talking. And of course, if you don't talk, it means you are accepting the liability. You are accepting that you have committed such an error. So I think she needs to see come out and tell us what actually happened, because it's an allegation that came. And don't forget, our own Madden, that's the account general, also said that if she's keeping that money in her account, it's criminal. So we need to look at that and let's give her a benefit of doubt. Let her come out to come and tell us what really happened as regards the allegation. But the allegation is a weight allegation, and Oga Falana wouldn't have spoken if he has not gathered enough information to back it up, because he knows what we mean by evidence act and what we mean by law of evidence. So for him to have come out to say that, he must have gathered some evidence to, even if at the end of the day somebody sues him, he has evidence to back it up in court and prove himself right. So I think what is normal for the woman is to come out and tell us what really happened. Don't let us speak on her behalf, but allegation is flying around. But let's wait for her to come out and say what really happened. And the presidency should also investigate deeply to look at that. If that happens, I think Mr. President should look at his cabinet. A lot of people are there that is affecting the progress of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. There's a story coming from the Nation newspaper. NDLEA arrest 28-year-old female bandits ammunition supplier. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has said it has arrested a 28-year-old woman, Bilikisu Suleiman, who supplies ammunition to bandits. Wow, this is actually shocking.
That's a combined security effort that was created and being empowered by the president administration to ensure that everybody, whether you are a custom or you are NDLA or you are civil defense, you can work within any ambit of crime, so that if that's what you have done, you now release it to the officers or the agencies that are concerned. You can see the NDLA, they are not the kind of agency that is in charge of ammunitions and all that. They are in charge of drugs. So for them to have done this, we kudos for them, because they are even doing outside their own jurisdiction, which is good, because that is what they are trying to do. They are doing interministerial, interagency collaboration to ensure that all of them are on the same page. All of them are doing what is good for Nigeria, and what they did, NDLA, is commendable. And of course, I hope the custom, I hope the police, they will follow up to know what is happening exactly and how such person will be tried in court of law to look at, because that is what you need to do. There must be punitive measure against people that are actually involved in this, because it's criminal, and of course it's from that angle.
0803-437-9453. That's the number to call, and 0815-032-0226. We take the last story as we wrap the packet this morning, Rasaq. It's from the Vanguard newspaper. Army destroys 233 illegal refineries, recovers 356 arms in 2023. I think that's just a recap of their efforts in 2023. The 6th Division Nigerian Army said it destroyed 233 illegal refineries in the Niger Delta region, while 112 suspects were arrested in 2023. The area of interest there would be that there was an opinion at a particular point in time that instead of destroying the illegal refineries, why don't get those people behind it and help them to...
Let me first of all start is a continuation of what I said earlier on,
Okay.
that collaborative efforts.
Yeah.
We're now seeing the fruit of it. You will know that NSCDC, according to their act, is the one saddled with the production of the public utilities and to prevent vandalism against public utilities. Now we now have army are doing their job. So what it's telling us is that government is trying to ensure that they are all collaborating to ensure that they secure everything, including me and you, in this country. Kudos to this government for doing that. Then if you look at what they did, destroying of illegal refinery, what is the word? Illegal. It tells you that it's substandard. It tells you that it's something that is not good. So if you now saying people should convert it to legal, you want to legitimizing illegality. That's not going to happen, because if you are giving out such substandard products, it will destroy a whole lot of cars and vehicles.
Definitely.
So they need to destroy it the way they are doing, because if they sell it out, have you ever seen that some people will tell you that their engine knock off? People will tell you that their engine is having issue, because if they have bought good fuel that is standard, it may not have affected their engine. But these are fuel that's substandard, and if you are to buy it, it will destroy your engine, it will destroy your generator. So that such fuel cannot be distributed outside. That is what they are destroying it. So it is commendable that destroying illegal refinery. You cannot legitimizing illegality, and that is your question.
Yeah, that's the question. Thank you very much, Rasaq. It's been a wonderful journey this morning. We want to thank you, Rasaq, for coming again today.
Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure always.
Our guest today has been the regional editor of Business Day newspaper. It's always here on Mondays, and so happy to have him once again. A big thank you to the production crew from the news. Right?
Yeah. And I came to so thank you to Samuel Adeyinka, ICT man, Basit Aris, and of course, it's been a Yemisi Shodipo production.
Yeah, thank you for joining us this morning. Debo Adeyinka is my name. Please have a very wonderful Monday.
And I'm Bolaji. Do have a lovely